Yo, welcome back to the third installment of our Bus Stop versus Browntown series. Uh, so far it's tied up at 1-1. Voltie got the first one, but I got the second one. So I'll be on the play for this one and trying to get a lead. Um, this opening hand is not going to help us get a lead. It kind of sucks. So let's mulligan it. Hmm, this is a pretty interesting hand. I think it's good enough to keep. Um, It's a saga hand that's like curves one drop, two drop, and then it's also got the added bonus of a devourer trying to find something big. Um, let's go ahead and keep. Probably drop the Khan, just because I'm already gonna be pumping out multiple constructs. That's what Khan does. Like, if I wanted this effect, I'll just do it via the saga. So you don't really need the effect twice. Like, and I'm never gonna make four constructs in any reasonable game. So let's let the Khan go and done. See what the Devourer has to say. Uh, Bauble Cave, Ugin Clowns. I don't know, none of this is particularly exciting. The cave's okay. I was really hoping to find some kind of soul land to give me a bit more direction on how I want to play this hand. I can just take land 4, and then that confirms a Devourer off of the fourth land plus Saga going to get Mana Vault. And just knowing that you can kill their best threat on turn 4 is like pretty nice. But I could also just try and find like any other land with a random draw step. I honestly think like a random draw step is better than drawing specifically cave. Not by much. I could also take Clown Car and pump up the patchwork quicker and make the saga tokens even bigger. Actually, I don't mind that. That's pretty aggressive and yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, let's take Clown Car. I guess there's a world where we maybe Beseiju a cutter. Don't think it's very realistic, but that's fine. We get Voltie, it's not the end of the world. We can either just crack the map or play the clowns for 2. Just a death right, not too bad. So death right's gonna block the clown car. So let's just play patchwork and we'll think about. We can play clown card next turn maybe. Hmm. I could just play it now and then go very aggressive. Like this might need to tap for mana. Nah, that's okay. Let's not get too antsy. I'm gonna get Inquisition. I feel like an idiot. Um, also to the point that I was saying earlier, where I like it's really nice to confirm the turn for Devourer. I can do that by like cracking the map and getting some kind of land, and then just playing. Like I'll play Beseiju this next turn, and then I have a choice to make a Saga token or map, and then depending on what they do, if I really need to kill like a Baragorf or something, then I can just Devourer, um, or forego the construct and then go grab a land off the map, and then go from there. Mapping for Tolarian's also something quite likely to be good this game. Okay, don't mind that. See, like I'd rather draw this. I'm happy that I exiled the caves earlier. Now I got the mine. Um, I'm just gonna play the clowns. I know it's pretty aggressive, but I think I'm going to want to play them next turn anyway for the extra power it provides the constructs. And now it lets the patchwork get in for an attack. Roll my 0 dice. I lost both rolls. It's okay. But like we're going to be facing down so much power, and then we can also crew the clown card with the saga token that comes off, and then back it up with a devourer to take out a big threat. I think I like this line a lot. Especially game one on the play, you can really just push the aggro plan. Obviously, Grixis is good at taking care of these things, but like the patchwork, it's nice that it's got the ward to keep itself alive. If the Deathrite does get tapped for mana, then we just get to crack in for an extra one with the Clown Guard. I'm really just trying to manufacture a game state where I win in 2 or 3 turns instead of like you don't mind playing a long game at all with the bots deck against Grixis, but I think with what's going on, this is the way to play this one. Yep. So you got 3. They have 4. Expressive. Okay, there is a steel cutter. There's a ponder. So we do have a clean block on it with the construct if they don't play a land and hold up a spell. Actually, even then we would have 4, so that's good. Top bottom with the preordain. Have to imagine if one went top, Voltie's kept a land. Steel Cutter's not really the type of threat that I'm rushing to devour. Oh baby. We are short on that one. Not that much. I think we can pivot into casting one of these big boys soon enough, but every construct here is so good, so I don't think I'm going to pass up on a 3/6/6. Relic's pretty appealing. I can also get the uh, Mana Vault, Crack Map, get Tolarian, and go about things that way. Seems pretty good. Hmm. I think the Mana Vault line is like a little bit vulnerable to like a Molten Collapse, so I could also get Relic here. That's actually pretty decent. To like stymie the Deathrite when we're obviously missing land drops. And then next turn I go get Tolarian and play one of the big boys. Okay, let's maybe... Nah. I think I just want to get Mana Vault. We'll get Mana Vault and we won't slam the Tolarian just yet. We'll hold it up, and if they do Molten Collapse it, then I'll go grab the Tolarian. And do I want to trade current Patchwork for one of these? I don't think they play Snuff out. I think I'll do that trade. Maybe the trade's not great because it means my Talarian's a little worse now. And my constructs are a little smaller, but it also means that there's no potential for a block on a construct. Well, it means there's one less thing that can block a construct next turn. So, like, if nothing else changes, they're in the abyss with the 2/5/5s. I wonder what was topped that wasn't a land. Maybe like a force? That kind of checks out. So maybe I should try and prioritize the Devourer over this Titan for that reason. Okay, happy to see Probe. We are like shy on a colorless source for the Devourer if we tap the Mana Vault, but what we can do is the turn that we want to do that, we can if I go crack this with the Vault, I'll have one colorless floating. The Tolarian will make 4, so it'll be 5, 6, 7, 8. So I can do either of these and have the right requirements for the colorless. And like we're at 20, so getting the Tolarian going and going into a longer game, like that still also favors us. Even like we really can't go too wrong in how we approach this game. In the fact that we've got like Voltie staring down lethal, but we could also just start playing 8 drops. Like it's a good place to be. I think I'm glad I didn't try and Sundering Titan last turn, given the pretty good chance of a force. I assume there's going to be a second spell here for a monk token. Wonder what we'll see. Okay, so what's this? So they snap, take Devourer, then well, they've she's obviously thought about what she's going to be taking enough that I wouldn't be surprised if it was a quick take. I assume it's this. If it's not, I don't really. Doesn't really seem like a winnable game to just take the Titan and survive a Devourer. At least if it's take the Devourer, counter the Titan, jump block, then untap and like draw Molten Collapse. Like that's very possible. Okay, that's quite a commitment. Could be even trying to double spell on my turn as well. Scrollies. Um, so if this is a double spell, then you'll have one 2/2 monk and one 3/3 monk. And like let's say one of these could be a removal. Maybe I still just play Devourer and be pretty happy about my spot. The trouble is like it cracks the map, so these go down to 4/4s, and then um, they're a bit more vulnerable to. Well, then both they're not both threatening lethal, which I would really like to do. I think that's okay because if I get her to one, then the crawler is like a pseudo kill. Yeah, could get Talon Gates as well. It's kind of interesting. Let's not go too crazy. Okay, it's on the stack. I think I want to go after the monk. Just because the Deathrite might get tapped this turn, and then I can give him some really bad blocks. There's also the potential that I can get the Clown car going. Um, or I just hit the cutter itself. Now let's hit the monk. So if they tried to counterspell here, they just couldn't do that. Because I can make these two plus the clown lethal. I think this is just gonna tax them into not really having any good. I think it's gonna force bad blocks anyway, so the Deathrite's gonna die. Okay, interesting. Um, do I want to run out the? I'll get the clown card going. Like this is probably a forced jump. I think so. It's weird. I just don't know what like double removal spell. You would have already cast it because of you would want the token. Oh, no, yeah, actually that doesn't track. Mm, okay, let's leave the clown card back. I think they're going to need to tap out. Like, given how little mana she's got, the crawler's probably just going to kill on upkeep, or on draw step, I should say. So, really, like fighting for that last point of damage is probably unnecessary when I can just crawler next turn and take it. It also means that like, if one of the cards that Voltie needs to cast to trigger the cutter is like a bolt, then this doesn't get vulnerable to that kind of removal spell. Is Heat online? Heat's not online. I'm really curious what she's got. Block. Okay. Fascinating. Uh-huh. Push one. Drown one. Okay. Sure. Okay, this is not too bad. That's very beatable. We kind of just put her back in the same position next turn where this is going to be 4 power. Um, so like this 4 power plus this 1 is lethal. This is lethal. This is pressuring. You have to double spell here with the cutter to just make enough blockers like Rago. Yeah, okay. They just have a bunch of like chumps at this point. That's pretty good for me. We'll just take this damage. Ah, 3. Yeah, I'll take damage. guess this is where a force would come out, but I think you also would have just forced the 6/6. Yeah, cool. So if I attack with all three, you go. You would probably just take that 8. Yeah. Just force a double jump. I wonder what it was that was topped all those turns ago with the preordain when it wasn't land 3. I have to watch Voltie's perspective to find out. We jump, jump, jump. We, yeah. The Darcy's a little bit of a liability that it wants to attack when Voltie obviously needs to block a lot. I guess you can second main phase, get this up to the Delirium. I think we'll see a concession soon. Now I've got 3 lethal attackers and I'm drawing 2 cards soon enough and 100 mana. Just never found that third land, so. It was an interesting game, this one, in a lot of different ways I could have played it with the Saga. It's a fascinating card, Saga. You can, from turn 1, you can either say, I'm going to make like a 5/5, like multiple 5/5s on turn 3 and 4, or you can say, I'm going to pump out, you can play at turn 1 and get a mana vault quickly and say, like, I'm going to play a 4 drop on, or a 5 or 6 drop on turn 3. There's so many different unique ways you can play it to leverage whatever you want to do with your hand. Okay, did find the fetch finally. Murktide. Murktide's a good one. Yep. Is there a removal spell for the crawler, I wonder? Um, let's draw off of the crawler first to see if we want to untap the mana vault. If I draw a land, I think I'll just untap it. Going to 3. Okay, so fetching before to like enable revolt to hopefully draw push, I guess, and thinning to draw it. Yeah, let's just grab the mana vault. It's not bad either. It's actually pretty good. It's actually kind of insane. So now I can get the living weapon, crew the clown car, equip the clown car, and now have 4 lethal attackers. And that should be unbeatable. Cool. All right, if you've been following the series, this is my sideboard plan that I've been not 100% sure about, but I keep finding myself coming back to these 6 cards. Ugin's hit or miss. All his dust is kind of overkill when, like, the thing is with the Grixis deck, you need to kill every single threat kind of on site. And things like Devour or Ugin or Cityscape are really good at covering that axis. So let's not go with the like big sweepers. taxing stuff's not great. Curse Totem's not it. None of this is too appealing. So let's just do. We'll stick with the 6 we've been doing. Cutting Amulet, Cradle, Regalia, Spark, Kanji C, and what was my last one? Ballista? Yep, I think that makes sense. Cool. Voltie's still thinking about it, so maybe she's going back to the drawing board and seeing if there's a different approach to the matchup. It's kind of fun playing a long set. So for those wondering, Voltie and I are recording all of these matches in the course of one day or one big session. So you get an interesting perspective on matchups when you just keep like butting your head against the same deck. You start seeing things like a little differently that you might not see after playing 1, 2, maybe 3 matches. Like now we're deep into a third match. She might be reconsidering her options. We are up a game first time, or up 1 game the first time in the series. That's welcome. Hmm. So we are lucky enough to get a luck counter on our gemstones if we want it. Is the rest of the hand good enough to keep? Voltie keeps on 7. Um, the things the hand does have going for it, it's got a Besage and a Blast Zone. So if Voltie's kept on the basis of wanting to play a Null Rod or an Energy Flux, we've got that pretty well covered between those options. Otherwise, the trouble is it's like very slow in the abstract. The Clown card is not that powerful. The Lodestone will come down turn 3. Doesn't really have a mana advantage. I think I'm going to mull this, but be curious to see what other people think on that one. It seems like every 6 I've seen so far has just been 1 land, bunch of 5 drops. So mull that one. The Cavern is back, but on 5 cards it's a lot less appealing. This hand just sucks. I'm gonna go to 4 and try and high roll a workshop or something. Okay, this stinks, but we'll keep. It's got a city at least. We probably need to go on to the we can maybe cave for a saga and then um try and win that way. I think maybe keeping these cards is the way to go. Don't like my odds though. I'm keeping the Eldrazi Confluence over the Spatial Contortion, kind of on the basis that we need to 2 for 1 or maybe even 3 for 1 to really have a good shot at this game. With Voltie kind of comfortably keeping a 7 and us not really being in the not having the kind of luxury of 1 for 1ing, that's just not going to be good enough to win when we're down this many cards. We kind of need to see like Ragavan, Darcy, and then we just wipe them all up and the 3 for 1 gets us back in the game. Okay, there's Darcy. All right. Trying to think of another threat that could come down that would get caught up by the confluence. Maybe the Bone Man would be good. guess the good thing here is also that like if Voltie just slams a flux, like we just don't care that much. Inquisition? No. So yeah, probably back on the Saga plan. And just hope that I don't know Voltie floods out and we just get to make two Saga tokens, put a Shadow Spear on one of them, and that's good enough to race. Which it can be. It's definitely not a bad plan, but unfortunately with no backup, um, yeah, it's tricky. Hard to see that winning. I guess I'm glad that that's a Tamio, not another kind of threat. But even then, the Tamio getting back pushed to take care of constructs is like pretty bad. Guess I wish they kept that 7, but it was really unexciting. I think it's a discipline mulligan. It's a tricky thing with bots is like you have these games where you mull to 4 and you're like, oh man, why don't should just get my 7, and then game 3 I'm gonna be kind of pre-positioned to be thinking that I should keep a more consistent hand, and then you end up just trapping yourself keeping bad hands. Another land. This Tamio is very likely to flip with the bauble, drawing faulty card on her turn. Um, Getting whomped by the Darcy as well is not much fun. Just got 1,000 clues, so very behind on cards, on board. Kind of old metrics, so not looking good. Flips Tamio. I mean, I could like Talon Gates the Tamio to prevent it from flipping, but the Saga's gonna have to go the distance somehow. I'm not sure if I want to keep playing lands and lose the city. Guess there's kind of no reason not to. Yeah, minus that Duras, we would have actually not been in too bad a shape. We would have killed both of these and made a spawn, and then this turn would be going to get the Saga, and we kind of be at parity. I mean, minus some clues, but um, now we're like, this Tamio is going to go either tick up and threaten ultimates or grab a fatal push to protect itself. Darcy's whacking me. Yeah, hard to imagine I can win this one. And the sagas aren't even like, they're just 1-1. Well, this one's a 1-1, next one's a 2-2. There'll be like 4-4s when they start attacking, but that's probably not even racing this thing with the Tamio Plus active. It does grab the push. I guess I'm just trying to brute force constructs at this point so I can go get Mana Vault, play Khan, make another construct. And then in theory, I have like, oh, never mind. I would have like 12 power, but that's not really even good enough to be honest. Push this one. Yeah, good choice. I was gonna go get Mox Opal if she let me have Metalcraft. No, I can't. I can get Relic, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'll go get Relic and then hopefully this Darcy attacks into the construct and I can eat the Darcy. Do I know any other cards? There's probably another removal spell in my future, but that's okay. The trouble with that line is that the construct would also trade at that point, so let's play out the Vault and then I can block, use the Vault mana, Relic, eat the Darcy. Maybe that's bad. Maybe I should just like try and Vault and draw an Ugin and see if I can win the game instead. Ugh, disgusting. Can probably wrap this one up. No, I mean, I still that line is still alive, I suppose. We'll see if I draw Ugin this coming turn. Um, if not, I'm already at like 8. Tamio's gonna go grab Colligans again. Well, he's already got 5, soon to be 6 cards in hand from the clue. He's nothing but spot to be. Tops with the Thundering Falls. Okay, we are getting a shot at our just drawing a 7-drop, but could be a consign up as well. At least we'll die quickly. It's not even particularly threatening. I'll probably actually just draw a card if it does resolve, given how anemic the constructs are at this point. Yeah. Mm. Do I pay for spell pierce? I guess it's kind of a losing battle. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. Mm. Put the bobble out. Not much I can really beat. Like this is gonna hit me. Kakerman can deal 2 to me, so like I'm dead next turn. And I just don't have much going on. Unholy Heat can. Yep, that'll kill him. Strix. I think we're in garbage time. Don't think I have any draws that could actually get me out of this. We'll take out Roston. That's fine. Okay. Okay, on the play for game 3, um, cards like Trinisphere and Sphere of Resistance are a bit more appealing on the play. Um, they can be pretty brutal. I don't think Trinisphere is it, just because the Grixis deck has so many like meaty 3-drops. They can just play a couple Surveil lands, and then turn 3 play a Barrowglyph, and if I've wasted my time playing a Trinisphere, I don't really have the pressure to beat that a lot of the time. The Sphere of Resistance is probably the more interesting one. Like turn 1 Sphere is similar to a Trinisphere, but more likely to get, um, and holds back some of the really powerful 3-drops to make them 4-drops, which can really be a big difference. Um, I'll give it a crack. Let's try it over like a Night Scythe. Just because I can also just like turn to a sphere, and that'll delay a null rod or an energy flux by an extra turn, and sometimes that's the whole difference that you need. You just need that little bit extra time to get some power going. Um, Patchwork is not an Eldrazi, unfortunately, so I can't get these to working together. So let's take a mull. Jeez, we've had a lot of mulls in a row. We got power to this one, thankfully at least. Not sure what I want to keep. I could maybe keep the workshop, but we're also losing an Urza land here. I could keep the relic if I wanted to saga for it. I think it's between these two. I think I'll keep the relic in the deck. Sin's just kind of doo-doo. I mean, maybe Devourer. It's a soul land and I have turn 2 tears, but that's pretty unexciting. I think I can do better with a 5. It's pretty ugly. And we have not drawn like 2 lands that often. I think I am going to keep. So there is like one good thing going for the hand is these 2 cards. Might's a bit meh. Candelabra's pretty bad too, but could do something. Um, Titan's too far off. Definitely dropping Titan. I mean, there's a world where I go like, I kind of accept that my hand's really bad and I just try and beat down, and like go 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. It's pretty anemic. It's also like a bit of a clash between like Patchwork and Fleshraker. Like they don't usually just want one of them and then start pumping out stuff. Probably drop Candelabra. Okay. Voltie's also on 5, so we are sort of playing a game. Unfortunately, like the bots deck can go to 5 and be pretty happy, but this is not a 5 that I'm happy with. If it draws a land immediately, then I'm actually quite happy. I think on that basis, I'm happy to keep over going to 4, but that's still a pretty big gamble to lock yourself into. But beggars can't be choosers at this after like 6 mulligans, including powder mulligans in the last 2 games. I think I'm still mulliganing disciplined and doing the right thing. Maybe Juris, no, Footsies. Again, they're both quite similar. You'd probably take the Fleshraker given this. Yep, makes sense. Might not be much of a game. I'll make it quick for you guys so you don't have to bear watching me do nothing. If we draw like land, then soul land, we're in some kind of shape. But I mean, I guess like if we're just trading cards in hand, I'm not too concerned. Like I didn't really care about now that I've got two random four drops. I'm not too concerned about either one in particular. I guess take this one. Um, but if we want to sit here and play an anemic game, it could be okay. There's always a chance I just draw workshop and then I play forge and then um, I'm like super far ahead. So it's it's not over, but the range of draws that I have to get me out of this one are quite slim. So Voltie kept her five uh, not quickly, so I don't think it was a slam dunk like found energy flux or anything like that. Um, that said though, even if I had Thoughtseize, Duress, and lands, like I'd be keeping on five. Maybe neither of us cast another spell for the next 15 turns, and the Haywire Might goes the whole way. I think that's realistic. Little guy. They're easy enough to squish. This version of bots is a little different, where it does have a green mana symbol within the 75, and also on Beseiju, but they're also, I guess the logic is that Beseiju is always a land, and this is always something you can cast. So whilst you get a little bit of access to disenchants and things like that with these two cards, you're not really committing to needing green mana sources. So you get to pretty much still play the same colorless mana base. You play a forest as your basic, and you've got your Gaia's Cradles, your Planar Nexuses, your Mox Opals. So it's not actually too hard to find a green source or two to get access to more disenchants. So um, yeah, it's really not too bad. Um, not too committal of a splash, I should say. Hmm, it's a great card, but not in this spot. Fortunately, I've drawn three non-lands, but that was always a possibility. I could have just cycled this here, um, and if I get like Inquisitioned, I'll just cycle it. But I would like to kill this and draw a card. Like that's if Faulty doesn't play a threat here and I go kill this, draw a card, like I'm actually in pretty good shape again. Um, but I have to imagine there's a threat coming down at this point. Murktide. Big Murktide. 7. Oh, it's maxed out. 8/8 Murktide. Yuck. Card's good still. Confluence can sort of like reset a Murktide, like flicker it so it becomes back a 3/3. Oh, what? You didn't take the thoughts it? Why didn't you make it an 8/8? Okay. Um, well, now I don't really think that Death Ride is 7. Is Death Ride hitting like Death Ride could take a turn off of the clock actually. If I just cycle this to draw a card to try and hit my land drops, then Death Ride can go 2 damage here, 2 damage here, and then any other sorcery would be. Oh, right, sorry, I'm silly. Um, when this gets exiled, it's gonna pump the Murktide anyway. Um, So this will be 8. So I like have to draw land, kill this next turn. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we do hit. Um, and the other question is, do I... Well, let's go to end step and we'll let them do the death right thing. Um, the question here is, do I try and make a spawn to make it more likely that I get the confluence, or do I draw a card and try and build up? I think honestly I have to draw the card and hit like Nexus, because I can actually see a route to victory if I do that. If I find Nexus with a bit more looks thanks to the K command, I can flicker this, cop one big hit here. Like I'm at 10 already. Uh, but like flicker this, make tokens, and then draw another land and cityscape this. So I think that's what we got to do. So let's go exile, draw, that, this thing. Go ahead. And we'll just pray it's not a Nexus. Pretty much bottoming. Oh, it does block, but we just need a final land. It's one. Well, it's kind of too cheaper than the leveler at least because of this. Maybe I should have attacked with the Haywire Might to try and gain a couple life. Might make a small difference. Because I am 4 away from this. If I do hit Nexus, then I go flicker this, make 2 Scions, then I'm at 4, 5, 6. Then I draw any land that I can devour. So it is a game plan, but okay. Tamio is not too scary. Much rather see Tamio than anything that threatens my life total. Forest, not what I needed. Sadly, is not an Kindred Eldrazi instant like Kozilek's command, even though it really should be, but it would be kind of broken if I could do that. Yeah, look. We aren't actually dead, but it's not a good life. Maybe the Haywire Might's a bit silly. Like it doesn't hit much. It hits Steel Cutter and Flux, and like I guess the thought here is that I can Saga for an answer to Energy Flux, but that's pretty specific. That said, like a lot of games do revolve around Saga, so it's not actually like that part of the equation is more than like the one card in 60 because I often search it up, but the flux is really just not that likely to come down. And even then it also means I need a green source and um yeah, there's a lot of things that need to line up for it to work out, I suppose. Um but it's also like if they just play a Ragavan and that blocks, like that's a good outcome. It is just a cheap artifact and it doesn't matter too much a lot of the time what your cheap artifacts do. They just need to be cheap and stick around for your Tolarian or to pump up your patchwork or whatever. That's sad. This is the duality of bots. You have Eldrazi Temple helping out your Devourer and Workshop helping out your Leveler, but a bit of a disconnect between the two. Well, that'll be game. Murktide takes it. Thanks for watching, and we will see what happens in round number 4.